Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sir, is this the first program you're starting for Karnataka?
Good morning, ma'am. Hello, good morning, madam. Am I audible, ma'am?
It is audible, sir, but it's a lot of disturbance.
Okay. Uh, 1 minute, ma'am. 1 minute. I'll just connect my microphone and
Sir.
uh, good morning, ma'am. Am I audible to you, madam? Hello? 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 Yes. Hello, madam?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is the first training program we were doing with the DSC RTC Karnataka, madam.
Okay, sir. Sir, what is expected from us right now? I think that we are supposed to be joining in the inaugural part.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
we can just talk about like our CIET initiatives, and this is the training program. Okay, DSRTC is the whatever you want, you can talk, madam. You are free to do that.
Okay, sir.
uh,
Actually, this is the same program type we are planning for all other every state also. I'm just putting the file. I thought I'll sign the MOU and do it, but it is starting in Karnataka is good. Sir, I just wanted to know in the module I just saw in the sheet which you have put now.
yes,
There
ma'am.
is a detail that they have to finish after this 4 days, they have to do a E module.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, actually in your pamphlet, this one flyer,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have written that after this 4 days training, the
Uh,
people have to do the E module.
yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Where is that E module available, sir?
No, ma'am. Actually, we have created one e-learning course for all these trainers, sir, for all these teachers, madam.
Okay.
So, like these 4 days, we are going to deal with these topics, madam. So, like
Huh.
here, like we are going to discuss important aspects of the those 13 modules.
Okay.
So, once this training program is over, so the teachers will enroll into the e-learning program, and they will start accessing those e-learning modules, madam. After that, they will be having a final assessment, and
Huh.
they will be getting one, certificate, madam.
Sir, where is this module uploaded?
This module we have uploaded in Make Shikshak actually, one of the platform
Huh.
where CDEC has developed. So that
Huh.
platform we have done it now, MakeShikshak.in platform.
Okay. Is this a program for Karnataka for any particular level of teachers?
No, no, actually, ma'am, this is a basic level training course program. So for
No, no. Why I am asking all this is in Karnataka we have finished our induction one course
okay, ma'am.
and this one. So third course is on cyber safety security, which they have to complete for diploma. So
Okay,
what
okay,
we were thinking is, yeah, still we are, though we are going to partner with you to develop the course and all,
yes, madam.
that social ethical which I have told, na sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
So though we are going to develop, it will take some time.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So if I can propose this as part of ICT curriculum, the same strategy that at
Okay,
national level, not only for Karnataka, throughout the country, we can run this. First 4 days live, we will do it to our TV channel, and remaining module we can register them.
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
So I have to conduct this program for all the SRGs of the state, sir.
Okay, fine, madam. No issues, no
So
issues.
for Karnataka alone, if we can do those who have completed already induction and refresher.
Yes, madam.
Okay, I think you are already trying to start for your program. We will discuss this after this.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದು ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ
Surya Prakash, sir.
ಗುಡ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಡಮ್
Very good morning, sir.
ಆರ್ ಯು ರೆಡಿ
Sir, we are ready. We are ready, sir. You can start, sir. Good morning, sir.
ಸರ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 5-6 ಜನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. 10:30 ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್
ಮೇಡಮ್
ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸರ್.
ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾರಲ್ವಾ?
ಹಾಂ ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ.
ನಮಸ್ತೆ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಸರ್
Sir, very good morning, sir.
Sir, very good morning, sir. And we have Angelo Ratnabai madam of NCRT Delhi, sir.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Fine.
Madam is there in the group. You can just see. Madam is there.
Yeah, shall we start, sir?
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir, it has been a very nice opportunity to work with CDAT. For the information of Angel Ratnabai madam, I would like to say that CDAT has come out with a proposal to give 4-day online training for the teachers on cyber safety and security. So we thought that during these holidays where the teachers are not fully engaged, I think this should be a good initiative so that we can take the training program ahead. So accordingly, we said let us make an attempt. And so far, madam, to my understanding, some 2,500 teachers are registered for this training program. This actually started within a short period. Maybe last week only we started with this registration process. Maybe we will go ahead with this training program and continue this training program once more or twice more to cater to all the 40,000, 50,000 teachers who are working in the government high schools of the state. So, CDAT has been very kind enough to, associate with government of Karnataka in organizing this program. I welcome Jagdish Babu sir, the additional director. Please correct me if I am wrong. From CDAT. And also Nirmala madam has been very instrumental in organizing this training program. She has been the single point of contact for us. And today our director has also joined for this meeting. He is also with me. With these things, anyway, I extend my cordial invitation to all of you who are participating in this meeting. Now, for the benefit of the teachers who are right now, attending this training program, I will switch over to Kannada, madam, so that they will be more comfortable in listening to us.
No problem, sir. I can understand Kannada.
Fine, madam. Fine. Delhi CIT. ಆತ್ಮೀಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರೇ, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೀವು ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ತರಬೇತಿಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಈ ತರಬೇತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ವೀಕ್ಷಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ತರಬೇತಿ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಆಯುಕ್ತರು ಬಹಳ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಆಯುಕ್ತರು ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, COVID-19 ಪ್ಯಾಂಡಮಿಕ್ ನಂತರದಲ್ಲಿ ದ ಸೈಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅನ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಮೆನಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಥ್ರೋನ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್, ಮೆನಿ ಆರ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಫುಲ್. ಸೊ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಜಾಬ್ಲೆಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ರೆಸಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿಯ ವಿಧಾನಗಳನ್ನ ಅನುಸರಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೈಬರ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತೀಚಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ನೆನ್ನೆ ಮೊನ್ನೆ ತಾನೇ ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ ನ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೆಲವೇ ಕ್ಷಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರ ಖಾತೆಗಳಿಂದ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಇದು ಒಂದು. ಆಮೇಲಿಂದ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಹುಮಾನ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಇಂಥ ಬಹುಮಾನ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಸೆಗಳನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ತಮ್ಮ OTP ಯನ್ನ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದುಡ್ಡುಗಳನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟ್ವಿಟರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಫೋಟೋಗಳನ್ನ ಕದ್ದು ಆ ಫೋಟೋಗಳನ್ನ ತಿರ್ಚಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೂಪಗಳನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಣವನ್ನ ವಸೂಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಇಂಥ ಹಲವಾರು ಅಂಶಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರೋ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಆಯುಕ್ತರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ನ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಇದು ತುಂಬಾ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯನೂ ಕೂಡ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು CDAT-ನವರು ನಮಗೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ನೇ ಅವರು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಬಟ್ ಅವಾಗ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಆ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಈ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತರಬೇತಿಯನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ 8, 9, 10ನೇ ತರಗತಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಏನು ಒಂದು ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಾರಿ, ಹಲೋ. Yes, sir. Sorry, there was some technical problems from our end. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಂಶ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಯ ಮಹತ್ವವನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರುಗಳು ಮೊದಲು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆನಂತರ ತಮ್ಮ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಂದರ್ಭೋಚಿತವಾಗಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾರ್ವಜನಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲಾಖೆಯ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಮುಖವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 4 ದಿನಗಳ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ತರಬೇತಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು CDAT ಅವರ ಸಹಯೋಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಪ್ಯಾನಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ NCERT CIET ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಏಂಜಲ್ ರತ್ನಾಬಾಯಿ ಅವರು, CDAT ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜಗದೀಶ್ ಬಾಬು ಅವರು, ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು, ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಬಯಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸಭೆಯನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಾನ್ಯ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಾರುತಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರನ್ನ ಕುರಿತು ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೋರ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಅವರ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ NCERT, CIT, ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಸೊ ಸೂರ್ಯಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರು ಈಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾವು ದಿನ ಪತ್ರಿಕೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಲೇ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ಊಹೆನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೆಟ್ಟು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಳಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ, ಈ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಬಳಸಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಮ್ಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಹ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, OTP ಹೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ದಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ರೂಪಾಯಿಗಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಬೆಲೆ ಬಾಳೋ ದಾಖಲೆಗಳು, ಕೆಲವು ದಾಖಲೆಗಳಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ನಾವು ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಈಗ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಕೈ ಪಾಲಾಗ್ತಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಾಗಿದ್ದು ಸೂಪರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಏಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಮೋಸ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂತ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಉಂಟಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವೇನು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಲೈನೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್, ಇಮೇಲೇನೆ. ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ATM ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಕ್ಯೂ ನಿಲ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಕ್ಯೂ ನಿಲ್ಲ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ATM ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಾಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅದಾವ. ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿನ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅವರು ಡಿಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಹೋಗಿ ಗಂಟೆಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಕ್ಯೂ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದೇ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ಊರಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯಾವ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಇದೆ ATM, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಷ್ಟು ದುರುಪಯೋಗ ಆಗಿದೆ ATM. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿಗಳನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಳಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ದಾಖಲೆಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳು ಸೋರಿಕೆಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ. ಡಾಟಾಗಳು, ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಡಾಟಾಗಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲಾಖೆಗಳ ಅಂಕಿಅಂಶಗಳು ಬಹಳ ರಹಸ್ಯವನ್ನು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನಾ ಕಾರಣಗಳಿಂದಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳ ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಾವು ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ಈ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಬಳಸಲೇಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮಗೆ ಉಸಿರಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಆಮ್ಲಜನಕ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಆಗಿದ್ಯೋ ಹಂಗೆ ಈ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಬಹಳ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ. ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಬದುಕಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು, ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಇರ್ಲೇಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ದಲೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ತರಬೇತಿ ಕೊಡಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಗಂತ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಂಬಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವಲಂಬಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅಪರಾಧಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟೇ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಅನ್ನ, ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಬಳಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಜಾಗೃತಿ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ನಾವು ಮೋಸ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅರಿವನ್ನು ಮೂಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅರಿವನ್ನು ಮೂಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾಳಜಿಯನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೈಬರ್ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತ ಬಳಕೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ತಂತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಬಳಸೋರು ಮೋಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಇದೆ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಹೇಳಂಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಏನೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲದರ ಮೂಲಕನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಮೋಸವನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಮೋಸಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಒಳಗಾಗ್ಬೋದು. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ಈ ಸೈಬರ್ ಬಳಕೆ, ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಬಳಕೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ತಂತ್ರಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ NCERT ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು CDAT ಅವರು ತಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಏನು ಈಗ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಇದು 4 ದಿನಗಳ ಕಾಲ ನಮ್ಮ ವೇಳಾಪಟ್ಟಿ ಪ್ರಕಾರ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ತಾಳ್ಮೆಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಆಸಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಆಲಿಸಿ. ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ಶಾಲೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಈಗ ವಿದ್ಯಾಗಮ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೋ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್ ಬಳಸಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಹೇಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ವಹಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಈಗ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ, ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪೇಗಳು, ಒಂದು 10 ಪೈಸಾನು ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಗೂಗಲ್ ಪೇ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ದುಡ್ಡು ಜೋಬಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಬಳಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ವಹಿಸಬೇಕು, ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಅಂಶಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ we have to know all this information regarding maintain our cyber safety. So in this regard, our NCERT and CIT resource persons are giving information to you and how to use this internet with ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಮೆಜರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ನಾವು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಆಲಿಸೋಣ. ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಕ್ರಿಯವಾಗಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ಜಾಗೃತರಾಗೋಣ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತಲ ಜನಗಳನ್ನು ಜಾಗೃತಿಗೊಳಿಸೋಣ, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಜಾಗೃತಿಗೊಳಿಸೋಣ. ಸುರಕ್ಷಿತವಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಆಧುನಿಕ ತಂತ್ರವನ್ನು ಬಳಸುವಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪಾತ್ರ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಾನು ತಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಾ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Yes, sir. May I now request Jagdish Babu from, before that, may I request Angel Ratnabai madam from CIT to speak a few words about this program.
Very good. Very good morning to everyone. It's nice meeting you all through this program. I'm sorry I cannot speak in Kannada. Only I can understand. I can speak very poor Kannada, so I don't want to take a risk of it. But this is a very important program, which actually we also conceptualize that every teacher need to be oriented on cyber safety and security. This is also one of the refresher course for all the teachers as part of ICT curriculum implementation. So already induction one, refresher one, whoever has completed, they will be doing a course on social, ethical, legal use of technology. So we are, NCRT is also partnering with CDAC for developing that course. So it is already a trio partnership in implementation of ICT curriculum as well. So this is the next program which has been started, and the training which Karnataka has started now is you have already initiated. Karnataka is becoming initiator in everything now. This is the same program which we are going to deliver to all the state resource groups of the whole country. So even before we implement, Karnataka is doing as a first group, first state again. So you are becoming the leaders in all the other programs as well. So I congratulate the Karnataka state for taking this initiative along with the CDAC. So just to give a background of it, the cyber safety security is considered mostly by teachers as it is only important for computer teachers. Whenever we talk to teachers and ask like, are you aware of this? People say, why should we? It is something related to computer science, only the computers teachers should know, or some ICT people should know. But it is not true. Every teacher is teaching to the students. And if you come across, every child is getting exposed to the cyberspace. And during this pandemic situation, every child has been exposed to at least search for e-resource in the websites. Not if even in the children in the rural place, they are exposed to using searching in internet. Not much technology, but simple thing. They are searching for some material or using a mail ID. Even in this very basic thing, they need to know a lot to be aware of what are the risks which is there and how to protect themselves, what to be revealed to others, what should not be revealed. So there is a very important concern. This is a very important concern that every child is also expected to know about the cyber safety and security to be safe in the cyberspace. Even though people are not going in two-wheeler, we always try that even you walk, you should be careful because others are walking, coming in the two-wheeler, it may affect you, right? So in the same way, even sometimes if we are not going to use technology in a larger scale, but since others are using, sometimes even our photos can be misused by the people who are using technology in a wrong sense. So we need to create this awareness among students, and to create awareness among students, the very first person to be having the awareness is the teachers by themselves. So until teachers are having the awareness, it is not possible to create that among the students. So it is very important that a teacher gets the awareness about this cyber safety and security related details so that they can safeguard themselves and also pass on those messages to the students and they give assessment. So I have been using, I would like to just take one small example to share here in a very short manner that how this is very important, why this program is being conducted as a state and why it is very important. Whoever has been part of NISHTA, some of you must have already listened to me. Since it is for high school teachers, I don't think they have been part of any of the training. Like there was one case which we came across as a case study that there is a student of middle school, upper primary school, who was given an assignment. And actually, the student was found when she came for a counseling to us. Uh, she approached and said, like, I'm addicted to pornography. I wanted to get counseling at the age of class 7 or 8. Just we were very shocked, and we know that she belongs to a very rural place. And we have an assumption that only men are addicted to pornography, adults are addicted to pornography, or adolescents are addicted. But 8th standard and 7th standard children, this girl who came to us is from 7th standard. She belongs to a rural village of Karnataka itself. And this girl is studying in a government school where there is no systems. So you can see the context. We were a little shocked to hear this. So we asked, how did you get to this? So then she started saying a teacher gave her an assignment to check something details about each state for her social science class. So she went to a browsing center because she don't have computer, her school doesn't have internet. She went to a small computer center there to search in the browser, like to search for this information. The very first time she went, she was not knowing how to search. So she asked the boy who was sitting in the next computer how to search. So he told her and she searched. The very first time she searched, she got some prompt. Some video appeared as a prompt and it showed a pornography. She doesn't know what to do, how to close it. By mistake, she clicked on it and watched it. The next time when she gave, it is at the age of 7, she was tempted and then she started going regularly to the shop for this purpose. And whenever she doesn't know, the boy who was sitting next to her became her friend and the partner and they started. But the boy who is running the cafe, cyber center, internet center, he came across something is happening and he reported to the school teacher because he was not aware about their parents, but he could see the uniform of the child. And because there is only one school, she went and took the name and class. And the shopkeeper went and reported to the teacher. The teacher was known to us, so they brought this child to us. So from this scenario, why I'm sharing it in a very frank manner is, this is how the situation is. We think that our children are in rural place, our children are not exposed, our children don't get internet connection. So this is not happening. But this is happening everywhere and we have enough cases reported in all the spaces. So it is very important for us to take this like this. There are several stories across our country. So it is very, very important for a teacher to understand what is the need for us to create such awareness among the students. And we also should know about it, even to safeguard ourselves. The very common practice teachers does is putting the photograph of children on Facebook to show that this child did this and it is very good. Recently, it has become like teaching English through dance, has become very, very famous. All the teachers are recording children dancing. And we know very well, being from a southern part, I'm also belonging to southern part. My parents will not like me dancing and my video being played in a Facebook. None of the parents will like that. But teachers are recording children dancing in the class and even children of class 9, 10, and more particularly girl childs. And they are putting it as a video, sharing that I'm using this methodology. But without taking permission of the child, without taking permission of a parent, without taking permission of the school. So teachers should be first of all aware what should be done, what not to be done. And CDAC has really very well designed the courses and they have extremely high resources which are planned and they have made it available. And it is very happy to see that this program is happening, going to start, and this is going to benefit all the teachers. So I wish all the best to the state of Karnataka and the CDAC for this starting of this program. And we always, we are also there along with the team to support you further to take it forward also. Congratulations and all the best.
Were very enlightening, and actually you have thrown a lot of light on how children may be exposed to the illness of the usage of the internet and all that. And you have also highlighted the care that the teachers need to take while giving the assignments and the projects. Thank you so much, madam, for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Now, may I request Shri C.H.A.S. Murthy, the Additional Associate Director of CDAT. I welcome you, sir, for this inaugural session. Sir, over to you now.
Director, Department of State Education Research and Training, Bangalore, C. M.R. Murthy, Murthy sir, and also Associate Director Dns Server Bangalore, Sri Surya Prakasha, and Angel Ratnabai, Department of ICT Training Division, Central Institute of Educational Tech, New Delhi. So they have a busy schedule. She joined us and given a kind of a glimpse of the need of the program for every teacher to understand about things with respect to the importance of the cybersecurity training, cybersecurity awareness, particularly in particular. So this program was initiated by ISEA, in Information Security Education and Awareness project by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. CDAC is implementing and supporting the various activities. So in a brief, I would like to inform about ISEA. So ISEA has 3 parts. The first part is education. So as part of the education, there are 36 institutes, premier academic institutes like IISc, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, IIT Madras, IIT Mumbai, IIT Guwahati, are acting as information security research and development centers, where they doing a research and particularly basic and fundamental research in cybersecurity in various forms, like various subjects. Let's take example of hardware security is being with IIT Madras, and cryptography and its research is with IISc Bangalore, and IoT security with IIT Guwahati, etc. There are other 7 resource centers which are basically also working to support educational activities in terms of cybersecurity education. So like courseware design, courseware development, as we have been associated with 57 different courses. Like let's take example of there are 6 major areas, where major career areas for students by implementing cybersecurity education at BTech, MTech, and encouraging the papers and PhDs. They are also encouraging every that academia with respect to the faculty, teachers to be part of research and to apply PhD in cybersecurity, as we are able to deliver more than 1,000 papers last 5 years from all these 36 academic institutes. So we also implemented new information security courses. Like if you take example of NIT Surathkal implemented an MTech information security courseware as part of this project. Also, we encouraged MS research. Those who are interested in the research in cybersecurity, so we implemented MS research across these institutes. So the second part is government official training, where we targeted initially government technical members, where they have to implement cybersecurity across their departments. And we have in a critical sectors like banking, power, such kind of institutes also there, where we need to train them as per to secure our infrastructure as part of the national security. So we more concentrated, and we almost reached to train more than 7,800 people at the sanction, and we may be covering another year. So the remaining 2,200 which we have as a target. So like third part is the awareness. The awareness is a must for every citizen to know about their, because everybody is now using almost, if you take an example, more than 30 crore people are using TikTok. More than 25 crore people are using a kind of a Facebook and other social media. So an overall 40 crore internet users, 40 crore smartphones. These are the statistics. Of course, everybody is having mobile. More than 90 crore mobiles are there in India at this moment. But however, usage of the internet through smartphones is now is only the 40%, around 40 crore, and it is expected to increase in few days. So we are part of cyber. So cyber, if you are using mobile, you are part of a cyber. So when you are part of cyber, you need to secure yourself. Every member is securing by themselves, is automatically we are securing our data initially for the nation perspective also. And actually, though recently we heard about there are 5 lakh user details are leaked in darknet. This is only because of the members who are using like there is an app. So some app that's what, when you are using and downloading a particular app, which we discuss as a case study about this app, uh, particularly the Truecaller app. So what is the Truecaller app? When you are installing, Truecaller is taking each and every contact details of your friends or your list of the members in your phone. So what is happening? Suppose you stored your boss name as boss, or something like that. So if somebody is calling that number, that will also show same like that, boss only, not boss. So suppose if you are making that name as like an abuse name, so even though somebody may get this abuse name when he is trying to call or he is trying to call, because both members are having the Truecaller, so definitely this one. So not only these things are happening, and also information leakage is happening. Without knowing your thing, you are sharing your contact list to others, so that there could be a marketing. That marketing could be a kind of an abuse-based marketing, or like some frauds are happening. Somebody is calling you without you are giving any information, because maybe a Truecaller is shared already your number. So that is where they are gone. We are what purpose we are keeping to understand, to avoid a marketing people. We installed a Truecaller, but that same Truecaller is sharing the your personal information plus your contact list to others. But your personal information, maybe you have a right to share, but by being my number within your phone, you don't have any right. But Truecaller is never telling about that. Truecaller is only telling about that I can use all these details, all these contact details for themselves, for their marketing. This is where they were doing the market, because of the terms and conditions they were listing in such a way that there are 4 pages, 5 pages, and nobody having that much time to read, because we always wanted to use the application rather than seeing the terms and conditions. By looking wise, it's a simple, but the terms and conditions, we are accepting each and everything because of the we don't have a time, or we are not able to read these terms and conditions like that. So these are the simple things everybody should know, understand whether really what we are doing correct in terms of cyber security, cyber privacy. We should learn, and as being we are all teachers, the teachers are the bridge between the society and even though national security now. When we are looking in such kind of frauds, so now teachers should become as part of this cyber security, and because the teacher is the first person after the parents to teach each and everything. And even though the more than teacher, more than parents, the teachers only teaching and we are creating as much as the people, right people to our national perspective. So information security is also one of the subject we need to take it and take it forward for all students. That's what we created this program. And this program is also not like in a 2-day program, 3-day program, where we can learn something and that only we can take it out. So because the technology is growing every day, technology evolving every day, some new technology is coming, definitely there are breaches, there are gap areas are there. So it is a continuous learning. So that is what we are planning to have all the teachers to access our e-learning material, where we continually, regularly update this e-learning material. Regularly, we will push the data as per the requirement of present scenarios and present gap areas, present risks, so that we can understand them and implement them for first as a self purposes. Then, as being we are all teachers, we can forward to our students and our respective pedagogical things. So this is where we started the program. We are very thankful to Sri Director and Associate Director of DSET Bangalore to take up this kind of program to the all Karnataka teachers. Where last time when we conducted, there are 68,000 people are attended from Telangana teachers. So that entire program we are able to do in Telangana in Telugu. Basically, we are part of Hyderabad, so that every lecture. However, we also tried our best to be both languages, English and Kannada, in this training also. And it is maybe a first time, but we don't want it to be stop where here. We continually conduct such kind of programs, and continually we wanted to transfer the technologies to all teachers based on the requirements. So we are very thankful to DSET, and at the same time, I will also thank Angela Ratnabai Madam of CEIT, because we are being closely working at the national level for all SCRTs should be part of taking such kind of programs. And by being with her busy schedule, I thank Madam to support all these activities and given a kind of a glimpse to what is the importance of cybersecurity. So with this, I thank you. Thank you very much. So can I start my lecture?
Minutes for me to extend my vote of thanks, sir.
Yeah, please, sir.
Sir, your words, you have highlighted the importance of the cyber security and also the importance of the teachers as a bridge between the department and then the society. Sir, really, we understand that importance. That is the reason that we decided that all our teachers of at least high schools who are teaching in the high schools, some 45,000 numbers should be trained on the cyber safety and security. But anyway, this has been our first initiative, and we have been able to pull somewhere around 2,000 plus teachers for this. I am given to understand that all these teachers are participating actively, and we have some 900 plus teachers sharing their thoughts through the chat messages. It is a good sign that we have made a beginning. Sir, thank you very much. I thanked the entire team of ISEA CDAT Hyderabad. I also thanked Angel Ratnabai Madam for participating in this inaugural address. And I also sincerely thanked Nirmala Madam, who has been very instrumental in coordinating with you and our department and in organizing this program. With these words, sir, I thank the entire team of CDAT Hyderabad. And now, may I read? I think you will be handling this session. ನಮ್ಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಈಗ ನಮ್ಮ CHAS ಮೂರ್ತಿ ಅವರು ಏನು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅವರೇನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಮೊದಲನೇ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಅವರ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ನ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದಂತ ಅಂಶಗಳೇನಿದಾವೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮನನ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನಃ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೇರೆ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಯಾರು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಇದರ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಪ್ರೇರೇಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಏನು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದಿರಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ತರಬೇತಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಸೆಷನ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
thank you so much, sir. I would like to take a leave now. Thank you, everyone.
thank you, madam. So for everybody, the welcome to cyber safety. This first lecture would be generally discussing about internet fundamentals and information security fundamentals, and also some safety guidelines for when we are participating in online lectures, because as being in a pandemic, so we are all be part of online lectures. And even though when you are part of online lecture while giving to the students, or as part of the students, what kind of things we required, we generally look about in these two sessions. So Guru Devo Bhava. So as I said before, we are all like in a God, equivalent to God after our parents. So that is where I always we missed to September 5th to give that, but it is not like that. Only September 5th is like a Teachers' Day, and any time, so this we can celebrate it. So with this, I am starting about this, but only one thing I need to give it is something is like it look like a technical thing where, but it is required to understand these technical things. Like example, the Angel Ratnabai Madam is explained about um, that case in Karnataka, the girl which is who is studying in 7th class, and maybe addicted to pornography. So because of that, not understanding the technology, that is the first thing we need to understand. So one way, when we are using any kind of device, either it could be a mobile or even it could be a computer system, understanding the fundamentals of that, how we can use them, that gives us the first thing is as a safety. So then we can also look about the security. That's what this lecture is majorly is a both understanding the concepts and also understanding between the difference between cyber security and cyber safety. If any in between there are some questions are there, I will take off after every 15 minutes because I cannot see each and everybody. This lecture is both in both WebEx and YouTube platforms. So coming to the internet fundamentals, see addressing. See, when anything message, we use it to send a lot of messages from one device to other device, our mobile to other mobiles, our computers to other computers. It's the same addressing how you do sending a letters to from here to other offices. The maybe the same thing is also is technologically happening in the cyber way, like sending an email as an example. Sending in a post letter as example is traditional, and sending an email is a cyber kind of a forwarding. So when you sending a letter, generally what we'll give a kind of a postal address, like a post, some address like maybe your house is also having, your school is also having the address with PIN code. The PIN number is the exactly what we look into that. Whatever name, name and New Delhi 11003 is the India. But important to transfer this letter is the much first important is the PIN code. The 6 digits which telling about like this. So 4 is the 4 could be a kind of an zone. Zone could be a Maharashtra. It's not only Maharashtra, it could be added into some part of the Karnataka or some part of the Gujarat also. Based on the zone. Zone is they were divided into as many as zones. So that's what when it is first letter saying it's a 4, it is automatically going to the particular zone area. Major part is the Maharashtra. So similarly, subzone 5 and 6 is telling about the districting, the sorting district. Sorting is not actually district of the particular state. It's like a sorting district. In the zones and subzones, they were further divided into sorting district so that the letter will go to that particular district, and the remaining 3 digits generally talks about that particular post. So this number helps to easily transfer that where to it should go. That is where this number was defined, and across in most of the time, like in the last 200 years, every country using this kind of method, and it is easy to adapt also. So when it is coming to the computers, when they are talking about that, there are 2 networking addresses are required. So the first one is IP addressing, where used for communication between the systems on different networks, and it goes beyond router. So we'll understand what are the things, all these things, routers, switches, and all within another few minutes. But actually, the IP addressing is the one first thing we need to understand, which is required to transfer your files from one computer to another computer. There is another addressing system, MAC addressing system. The MAC addressing system is basically another type of address system which we can identify your computer, which we can identify your mobile. So any communication in this world, cyber world, these are the only the 2 addressing systems to understand each other and forward the communication messages from one place to another place. That is where we need to understand. So if anybody asks you that what kind of addressing system which uses for communicating from one system to another system, there are only the two addressing systems. First one is IP addressing, second one is MAC addressing. So let we understand what is the MAC addressing. See, every computer is having, whether you use desktop, whether you use a laptop, or whether you use a Mac, whether you use mobile. When your smart mobile is also having the MAC address. When you are your mobile is part of internet, the MAC address is very much important. So generally the MAC addressing is a kind of, as we shown in the before as a pin code. This is also having a kind of a code. Maybe it is initially very difficult to understand this code, but you just understand this is the hexadecimal addressing. Hexadecimal addressing may be understood by all mathematical teachers and computer science teachers. However, you please remember that the computers only can understand bits only. That means bit is either 0 or 1. Computers cannot understand whatever they've written here like this. Even if you are sending an email, data is in the form of decimal thing, but it won't understand it. Only can understand ones and zeros only. So this address, if you look into that, this was divided into 6 parts: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this was wrong. Okay, -1 is wrong actually. So my instead of some accident, you take this example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the first 3. See, these two numbers are divided by this. So basically, so this is an hexadecimal number. So it is these two numbers together called 8 bits. 03 can be represented in the bits like 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros and 0, 0, 1, 1. So that way it would be converted into bits and can be transferred. But also we discuss about in detail in the next classes, but you need to understand here is basically the first 3 parts, whatever in address, this part is particularly is only that the company which developing this particular hardware. Let's say if Cisco is developing the hardware, this is the Cisco's address. And these all 3 update, 3 numbers is basically what is exactly? This is the unique number. Unique number means it starts with 0, and because of 8 to the power 24 devices this company can connect with this serial number. So if whenever you see two similar systems, two similar companies systems, their MAC address is same with this number, but these 3 digits, 3 octets are unique because that company is developed this, because this is the Dell machine, and the other same similar machine is available in your network, that also is the Dell machine. So if the Dell is serial number is this one, so that this would be same for both systems, but this number changes. This is the number, the unique number, which we can easily identify the computer in this entire network. So that is why computer forensic investigators can easily understand if something is happening, some criminal activity happening from one computer, that computer could be identified with respect to this number only. So this is where how it will come. So you also understand second point. That point is basically this is because of network card. See, some computer systems you can remove network. You can remove easily network card by opening this CPU. Am I right? They can fix it and they can remove it. In case if you remove the card, so that physical address of that such system automatically deletes because you added another network card. So that network card is unique. Any network card in this world you take, that is unique. So that's why majorly the network card very much important to identify the computer in a network. So it is also called physical addressing. Why it is called physical addressing? This address is physically attached to this computer. So you cannot, same computer, same address cannot be given to the other computer because the both computers are having a different network cards. So when a computer is having network card, definitely it is can be recognized with the MAC address. If computer doesn't have any network card, so this MAC addressing won't be work on that. So MAC addressing is always comes with the computer. So because of that network card. Your laptop is having network card, either network card or wireless card. Because of the card is only used for the communication. That is where the wireless is also having. Mac is also having network card. Either RJ45 network card instead of they may be using wireless cards. So these are the way you need to understand MAC addressing can be a kind of an addressing which is attached to physically to a computer, to a switch, or to a particular device also. So even though hub is also there. Now we look into that, how does internet work? So what we think that lot of people think that it is a cloud. Am I right? So because you are accessing internet from mobile and whenever you are home, okay, you wanted to access Gmail. What exactly you do? You just an app. You will access your email and you will send an email. That email is there in your mobile. It's not there, no, because that email is once you have sent and you are closed, whether you can see in mobile anything that whatever you sent, that what are the mails are there. So it's not there. It's somewhere in the server is there, as you know very well about this. While you are going to home, you forgotten your mobile. So you went to your office and you are accessed the same email through from your computer in office. So wherever you are going, whether your office at home or you are going another country, so you are able to access your data. So most of the people think that it is in a computer, somewhere it is there in the cloud or some cloud, somewhere it is there cloud. But it is actually, what is that? Is a cloud is nothing but we think that it is in a cloud. When you are accessing through Wi-Fi without any wire also, you are saying that it is a wire. The data is going outside from your mobile and going in air and storing somewhere in the server. That could also is the wireless. So they're storing. So we can easily say the cloud is the one of the reason. And wherever you go, oh, that clouds are coming with you so that you are able to access. That's what most people think. But all these are all connected. Even though when you connect your Wi-Fi at your home, that Wi-Fi router is connected to a physical connection. Even though your server is also on Wi-Fi, most of the servers doesn't have an Wi-Fi, but basically that is also possible to access through cloud without any wire. That is where the technology is growing. So it's like look like a cloud, but everything is connected without connecting. So when it is coming to the connectivity, you can see that so you can see that there is a bigger line is we drawn it. All these computers are connected. This line could be anything from country to country, across global, there is a bigger line. Let's say think of that. So your computer is connected to your switch and your switch is connected to that bigger line and some other computer and whomever the data you are accessing the from server that also connected to that particular line. So it is like a backbone. The backbone network is there. All small networks are connected to this backbone with major bandwidth, where this backbone is continuously connected to across all the things. In this example, let's say you opened in a web page www.infosecawareness.in. As we rightly discussed before, the computers cannot understand the whatever the words which we are typing. Then how it is communicating with the server? So that is where here, when you type www.infosecawareness.in in a URL in your web browser, it cannot understand. But what exactly happens in this system? There is by default in your operating system, there is a table would be created. If something, this web browser is, they were typed, because we cannot remember the 11000011 like that address. There are few lakhs of websites are available across the globe. For each website with numbers, identifying is very difficult. And with that digits like a 01, identifying is very difficult. So that what happens in this system, there is one particular file would be there, local file, where it tells about that if anything you are not understanding, check that file and take that next IP address and go on. So if it is the locally, this is enough. But somebody is hosting a globe in somewhere in US, Brazil, there is a website is there, they are hosting at their place. How do you know? How do I know their address? So that is where you required a DNS server. DNS server is domain naming server, where that domain transfer can be done and it resolves the naming to the IP address. As we learned, for any communication, either IP address or MAC address is required. IP address or MAC address. MAC address is only the physical address, and connecting that other physical address, you have to know that 48 bit you have to know. And also we learned the 24 bit is the first 24 bit is basically the company's name, and second 24 bit is basically only of that particular computer. If that MAC address, you should know that there are few lakhs of MAC addresses. Remembering that MAC address is also very difficult, and MAC addresses only works within the local connected systems within the same network. So same network means if you are using LAN of 10 computers, that 10 computers to talk to each other only we use MAC address. Anything if you wanted to go to outside internet, the IP address is the only address you can use it. So this point also please note down. IP address is mainly transferring the files from one type of network to another type of network. That means different networks, when they wanted to communicate each other, you required IP addressing, and only within the computers, within the network, one network, if you wanted to use addressing system, that is MAC address only required. So IP addresses versus MAC addresses, you might have understood by this time. Coming to back, when you type infosecawareness.in, when you wanted to type in URL and access that web page, so that computer doesn't understand what is exactly you wrote, infosecawareness.in. When it doesn't understand, it sends to DNS server, domain naming server, where it's a kind of a database server. Whenever you are sending this communication here, because this database server can be part of your network. If it is not part of the network, whatever when you are taking internet connection, that ISP, if any address, if you are not able to reach and if you don't know, that entire data should go to this DNS server. So that is where these computers will be designed. And when you are taking an internet connection, that internet connection itself, so they say that the gateway address. So whatever the data you are sending towards that first this one. Of course, the data is having different IP address, allocated IP address. If you access through IP address, there is no need to go to this. Wherever it is going, that it will go to that place. So that is where somebody may ask a doubt in such a way that, sir, when you are saying about infosecawareness.in is not understood by this computer, how it goes to the DNS server? That is where, while they give the internet connection to you, they will specify gateway. So whatever that internet required related things to you, so first they are not able to, or we are not able to understand the target address, that can be sent to DNS server. DNS server is the source machine or database machine which is having name, IP address, and that www.microsoft.com, its IP address, www.cdac.in, its IP address. Whoever register in a website, they would be allocated an IP address. Once they were hosted a website, this database automatically updates. In world, there are 13 servers, DNS servers are available, root servers, which we called these servers as the root servers. These root servers will update every minute, every website, so they will update. Under the root servers, there are sub servers. Even your organization, your school also can maintain DNS server for your purposes. So you also can filter DNS server, some data through DNS servers. So once what is, when you are connecting www.infosecawareness.in, it will go to a particular BSNL because you have taken internet connection from BSNL. So BSNL might be having a DNS server because the default gateway is that only, and every internet connection that ISP you have to go in. Suppose any new address which you have given, it will go to check the BSNL DNS server. Then the BSNL server will forward that this is the IP address. By taking that IP address, it will go to the respective Google server or InfoSec awareness server, and this connection would be established in these two, between two systems, server and client. So the data would be transferred along with that. So this way internet connects. So internet cannot understand anything like what you are typing the data infosecawareness.in, such as a data it cannot understand. It should go get the IP address to transfer to the server, so that it will get the IP address from the DNS server, whether it could be a local, whether like root in the public internet also. So once that gets the IP address, then only the transfers the data to the respective server. So whether it could be a www.cdac.in, yahoo.com, google.com, any website, this is the process. So as I said, no, somebody may say that in land, okay, there are line. If you take India, the entire India, there is a broadband lines, Reliance, BSNL, and are having the telephone connectivity. If the same thing, if you want to transfer to Madagascar, so where there is no land connectivity, so see that land connectivity of that sea, a submarine cable map. So this is the backbone. That is what we talked about. So you can visit this submarinecablemap.com and see that the connectivity between the across globe, how they were established. So these are the high bandwidth pipes which they were drawn across the all continents, where they were, because of this your internet speed increased. In recent last August 15th, our Prime Minister initiated another line between Andaman Islands and to our Chennai in virtually, as you know all. So that is where the connectivity is increased to Andaman, and the high speed net internet is available in Andaman. So now we heard also news. This is all like the China is drawn up to their broadband network up to our border lines to give the as much of high speed network, and giving the instructions to and making it a part of cyber warfare. So what is the IP address? The IP address is basically when you look into that, see, we discussed it about that internet is like a cloud, but actually in everything is it's not actually cloud. It is a connecting between the various routers. These routers are not accessing, is not only the to a particular organization. As being in part of CDAC, if my router is also participating with other public, so other public organizations or other private organizations also can access this router. When you say that is the router is gateway for you to reach to other host, that is where. So it doesn't mean that that router is the owner you are only. So it tells about that I am the owner. To reach anybody, they should come. It's like a main gate. So if anybody coming into my house, they should come through main gate only. If even I wanted to go out also, that is the only the gate. I cannot go, I cannot jump. So that's what, if this is the router is could be like we can say as a gateway. So when coming to the IP address, where we discussed about MAC address is the 48-bit address, and first 24 bits are basically that particular company manufacturer which develops like a Cisco, Dell and all. The remaining that 24 bits are all basically the unique address, so total 48-bit address. When it is coming to the IP address, it is divided into four octets, where MAC address is divided into 6 octets. So IP address is the 4 octets. That means 4. One octet is nothing but 8 bits. So that 32 bits. So 4 into 8, 32 bits IP address. Where MAC address is, there are 6 octets, 6 into 8, 48 bit. The first 24 bit is for manufacturer. The other 24 bit is for unique number to identify that particular system. Where IP address is divided into 4 octets into 2 parts, network address and host address. That is what we look into that, how, what is the network address. See, this 32-bit address would be divided into network number, host number. But here the part is that, so entire 32 bits out of 32 bits, what is the part of the addressing is network and what is the part of addressing is the host address, we need to understand. So basically, then when you are coming to here, that network addressing would be either it could be one octet, the remaining 3 octets is host address. Plus in this address, the basically 145.10.34.3, 145.10.34.3. So what is exactly the meaning? Either it could be 145 is a network address. The remaining 10.34.3 is the host address. How do you identify this? Which one is the network identifier? When you enter into a network or when you are part of network, if 2 computers are having the common 145 only, but changed these things, the 10.34.3 are changes, then we can say that 145 is the network address and 10.34.3 in other system which is connected to the same network, 10.34 like other 11.36.4 is called as a host address. But however, defining the network address and host address, there are methodologies are there which we look about this. Then we can see that how do we divide into network address. But you have to understand that this is a 32-bit address, 4 octets, dotted notation. Like if you take a dotted notation, so because these octets are, as I said that before, numbers would be converted into binary. The binary in the form of bits. So bit only either 1 or 0. So if you this 32 bits, 4 octets into divide into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is like either 1 or 0. And when you are decimal notation, you are able to see 145.10.34.3. So 32 bits, if you are writing, this is the actual IP address. But how do you, this thing only computer can understand. But remembering this part is very difficult for us, for human beings specifically. Okay, then this is that's what we convert into the decimal and we try to remember. And this also remembering is very difficult. That's what we found the solution of DNS, domain naming system, because how many numbers you can reckon is very easy to remember, like a Microsoft.com, Google.com, like that easy way to we can remember websites. But if somebody says that you have to go for 166.75.229.22 and this is the basically address of so and so website, it is very difficult to remember. We can't remember as much as time. Until you own that website, you cannot remember it. So that's what, so the DNS would be useful for transferring like in a resolving the naming to the IP address. You give the name and you get the IP address. That is what the job would be done by DNS. And how do we divide this? So that is what major part. So if you look into that, these are the network addresses divided into 5 classes: class A, class B, class C, class D, class C. And remember in the previous, if you are keeping into one octet and take this octet, if you keep all bits or ones, what is the maximum number? Is only 2. Anybody? It's a 255. If every digit is 1, 255. If every digit is 0, it's a 0. So that means octet is always between 0 to 255 only. If somebody said IP address like 288.222.200.1, so that IP address is wrong, because the maximum number of any octet is 255 only, not more than 255. And if all are zeros, so that would be basically only 0. So it's this octet always lies between 0 to 255 only. How do you calculate this? As you all know, when your conversions you have done from the decimal to digit binary, if it is 1 is there, it's a 2 power 0. That means 1. If it is, this is the place is the second place. We count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This position is 0, 2 power 1. This position 1, 0 into 2 power 1. That means 0. Like 0 into 2 power 2, 0 into 2 power 3, and 1 into 2 power 4. Or adding of these ones, values and these positions. So here is 1 is the 2 power 1, 2. And this is the value is the 2 power 3, 8. 8 plus 2, 10. Here is the 2 power 0 equal to 1. And 2 power 1 is 2. 2 plus 1, 3. So that is where we use it. And so maximum number would be between, maximum number would be always 255. And the value between numbers is for octet is 0 to 255. But how do you recognize when they were divided into classes? The classes is leading bits are 0. When IP address starts with 0, that is called A class address. When you converted that decimal number into bits, like in a binary system, if the first octet, the first digit, if 0, then we call it as an A class. Okay. So in the A class network, the first octet is always network address. Then the remaining 3 octets is the host address. That is where net ID bits are 88 and host ID bits are 24. How many networks we can keep? Maximum 2 power 7, 128 networks. Each network, how many hosts are there? 2 power 24 hosts. That means it's like a 60 core, 1 crore 67 lakh 77,216 machines can be connected in A class network. That means if a person is having in a company is having more than or around like 1 crore 67 machines, the class A network can be used. Is there any kind of such network? Yes, it may be there. Google is hosted across all servers across the globe. They required A class addressing system. Similarly, class B, when that first octet, the digits when you convert it, it starts with 10, class B. And the same thing, the first octet is 110, it is the class C. And 1110, it starts with 1110, is class D. If the first octet is having the first 4 bits are 1, it's the class C. So in this case, class A network is the first octet is network, but class B, first 2 octets are network address, the next 2 octets are hosting address. So that is where we need to understand. If in detail we will explain that afterwards. So basically is through 126, the 0002 through 126 is the A class address, 122 191 is the C class address, and 292 to 223 is the C class network, 128 to 191 is B class. But when you see that all addresses, maximum how many addresses we can connect? Because that bits, there are 32 bits, we can have maximum of 2 power 32 addresses only. Like if you take into that, this is the addresses is almost 429 crore, 49 lakhs, 67,296 addresses. So in entire globe, these many addresses only the maximum computers we can connect through this IP addressing. We cannot connect more than. But is it sufficient? Even though 40 crore people are in India itself, they are using mobiles, and each mobile is required an IP address. If India itself a 40 crore people only mobiles, and if you see that offices, networks, systems, so almost we may get it here it's 10% to 20% in India itself. So, but if you comparing with all counting each and every system in across globe, these IP addresses are not sufficient. And Class A network IP addresses are occupying 50% of the space, address space, where Class B is 25%, where Class C is 12.5%, and Class D and E is 6.2%. However, most of the people who are having maximum 255 machines, they generally use Class C. So that's what Class C starts with 192. Whomever using network IP address 192 to 168 to 223, definitely they were using the Class C network. This is most of the small organizations, when they connect it to network, this is the network they will connect it. So if all bits are 0, 32 bits are 0, that is called default rule. Default route is only during the startup. A machine starts, so the machine talks with the other computers in the network. If they wanted to talk to other computers, again addressing system is required. That address is nothing but 0.0.0.0. So this won't be allocated to any other system to identify. So it's a special IP address. In similarly, 127.0.0.0 address is also like testing your network loopback and your TCP IP inter-process communications on local machine. Okay, so if all ones are there in the address in a particular octet, that would be considered particularly in the node address, that would be considered broadcast. Broadcast means is nothing but when I'm speaking, you are all listening. When radio is speaking, we are all listening. There is no communication between them, only one-side communication. Whether you listen it or not listen it, is the radio's we cannot have any responsibility with respect to radio. But however, so basically for understanding, Class A address, network address 192.0.0.0. But actually this is if you are using Class A 192, never use 192 address, it is a wrong. But understanding purpose, if it is the network address is 192, this is the 0.0.0.0 is the host address. This would be a common for every machine in a particular network, because this is only changes. So when network is there 192, the remaining host addresses are 255, 258. Does mean that if all bits are ones, so that would becomes 255. So this is called broadcast address. If any message sending a message with this IP address, it will go each and every computer in that particular network. If accidentally they sent a secret message to instead of sending to one computer, if they are consider this address, so each and every computer gets, their security problem will come. In Class B, the first 2 octets are network. The remaining 2 octets are the host address. The broadcast address would be this one. In Class C, first 3 octets are network address, and this would be common to each and every computer. And only the thing 0 to 255 networks only changes. So as you know that this very limited address space is there, 2 power 32 address space class boundaries did not foster efficient allocation of address space. So that's what they did. They reserved some addresses in each class. Let's say take example of A class. See, as being a number of networks are connecting, each IP address needs a IP, public IP to connect the network internet. It's very difficult. Why? Because so we have a limited IP addresses. If other than this number, if one member added, you won't connect to the internet. That's why they divide into a kind of an address space, like this address is only private. See, A class addresses are maximum 128. In this world, 128 companies only can select the A class address. Even the lesser than that, because 127 dot is reserved. So 126 networks, 126 networks only they can have connect to the A class address. Is it that only 126 bigger companies are there in the world global market? There are 500 Fortune companies are required more than should have more than networks and required more than 126 networks. That's what the internet ICANN is suggested. ICANN is like controlling the accessing numbers and all. So let's take example, this as a private IP address. Internal, you can use this anybody. That means what? If I'm using at my office 192.168 network, you also can use the same 192.168 network, but only when we connect, we cannot connect directly these two networks and can speak. You should use routing, and at least you required one public IP and I required one public IP. Under me, there are 1,000 machines are there. Under you, there are 500 machines are there. These 1,500 machines can talk to each other with two public IP addresses. That is why private IP addressing is very much useful for us. So as we discussed, this is a network prefix and mask and all. So that is what addressing system, like what is the MAC addressing and what is the IP addressing, what are the classes of IP addressing we learned. Now coming to the internet fundamentals, as you may be using mobile or you may be using a laptop or computer, you may be connected to your home router or broadband router. Am I right? And connecting each other. But at the same time, when you are in school, you may be connected to a kind of a switch, where the switch, other colleagues, other teachers are also connected. Am I right? So then, if they wanted to connect, see, for here maybe at home you get a public IP temporarily. Here also, but if the same user, why you require two users? So that you can use a private IP addressing, where when you connect to the public, like this router, to talk to the internet, you required only the public IP address here. If you are connecting, either connecting from the office or either connecting from home, router is important. Sometimes what happened, this router itself, Wi-Fi router itself, broadband routing capacity is also there. So to control the information, we generally use the firewall, what to access, what not to access. Otherwise, this router is directly connected to your internet. So during this, there are 4 different types of routers. Layer 1 devices, which is repeaters and hops. Layer 2 devices, which bridges and switches. Layer 3 devices, routers. Layer 4 is proxies gateways. What are they exactly? See, repeaters hops is like a hub. You don't want to control any communication. The people can connect here 1, 2, 3, 4 to this repeater. So it doesn't have any intelligence. Whatever the data you are sending here, because it cannot understand the data where to send, but ultimately the gateway to send. But before gateway to send the gateway, it cannot understand where the gateway. So what exactly it does? It automatically copies each and every copy, every port. So this guy is sending an email to outside, but this is also goes to this guy, this also goes to this guy, and this also goes to this guy. Of course, these computers are talking with only binary data. Human beings cannot understand binary data. There are tools are there to convert the data from binary to again decimal system where human beings can read and understand. So if this guy is sending the data mail from this way, and when it is connected repeater and hub and going here and here, is definitely the data they can see. Am I right? Because the data is going because of the using of the repeater hub. Okay, because repeater and hub doesn't have any kind of an addressing system. Why? That we will learn in the few slides. So this is what, as we discussed, when you connected your router at your place. So your mobile, your PC, your family mobile, and laptop would be connected through LAN. They can connect it with this particular LAN. Either it could be a Wi-Fi router. When it is connected to the ISP, ISP is giving a connection to you on this router, where that WAN IP they will give it. WAN IP is only connected to wherever your BSNL office is there. That is purpose only. But however, if you want to access internet, you require public IP. So this is entire runs on private IPs, because if you want to get public IP for each device, it is very difficult, as they cannot give it to you in such a way that that public IP addresses are very much limited, so that you have to use only private IPs, whether it is office or home. One internet connection, you all devices are connecting with local IP address like LAN IP addresses, where when you are connecting to your ISP, still they are also like one LAN, because that they were giving here this WAN IP and same network IP based on that with a different host ID they will give here, so that this would be WAN. But when it is internet is required, you require public, so that then public IP virtually they will allocate it. So if you see that 192.168.1.1, here is 192.1.1. Actually, when you are connecting, these are the separate line. When you are using, this is home 1, this is home 2, this is home 3. So they are all different home 3s, homes are there, but they are using the same IP address to access. But however, ISP that you are connected to BSNL, no? That BSNL will give the first home different IP, second home other IP, third home IP. But homes internally they can use the same IP addresses. But when you connect directly these two homes, these they cannot communicate because they have same IP address. So that they should connect through ISP, through router. Then only they can have same numbers, because these two are talking to these two different IP addresses. When you are connecting the public IP, some people will take a dedicated IP to only one IP to their systems. But as like our home users, we cannot take dedicated IP because that is very highly chargeable. So what is that? Dynamically we'll get it. This IP address dynamically we allocate to our mobile to access internet. 115, sometimes we will get 60, sometimes we'll get 249, or whatever these are, as many as home connections may go of internet for either one of these addresses and sub addresses. So that is where internet works. So you see that local IP addresses, local systems are 10.0.0. Every system is same, but host address is changing 2, 3, 4. It will go to the internet. Internet is allocated one public IP address like this one, and it will go to the outside. So when you are connecting the previous example is for home, and when you are connecting the switch, either hub and switch they were connecting, they are all in the same network, they can talk to each other. But when they are going to the outside, they are going to the either router or server plus router to access internet. Okay. So before going to the OSI layers, these are the OSI layers. See how they will understand routers, systems, how they understand each other. this particular system to understand. So let's take example. If you are sending an email from your computer, so if you are sending an email from your computer, what exactly will do that? So you will open a web application or an email application. Some people in the organization, they use a kind of an application like an Outlook Express or email client. And some people only access through web only, like Google, gmail.com. You will use browser only. So that is called web app. Browser, internet browser is web app, or application like the people in the offices, they use their client like Microsoft Outlook, such clients. Whatever it may be, when you are planning to send an email, that you need to understand, you have to use some application. Am I right? Either it could be web page, like a browser, through browser, and or app to send an email. What human being can see in the computer and enter the data and forward the data, those are called all applications. So there is a 7-layer system. The top layer application is always understands about such applications. You are seeing in a WhatsApp, whatever you are doing, WhatsApp is an application. Telegram is your application. Or you take anything, we are able to use it in a computer, that all things are applications only. But here, is it application is the only application? You are using application to send an email. Let's say browser you are using. After browser opening, what is that? You will log in and you will click to, you will prepare a mail. Then what is that? There is a to address, there is CC, BCC, everything will be there. After uploading, you are writing an email. How you are writing the email is the important in the presentation layer. That means how you are presenting your email is the important. That the email is encrypted for security purpose. That email is only the text plus encryption, or text plus maybe encoded. Encoded means you may be sending the JPEG file, you are attached, you are making something like encode. So that's what, how you are writing the email in the text format or in the encoded format, and to forward other side. So that is where the presentation layer taking. Still you are in the part of application. You opened application, then you are planning, you are wrote some kind of a text and added some kind of graphics and some like you are planning to add some encryption also to forward the or to send an email. Once everything is over, then what you do? You click to send. Send, when what happens? This once you send it, what happens exactly? It will go to the respective email server. If you are using Gmail server, whatever the client, when you click send, it will go to your Gmail server first. So that is where if you see, understand this picture. So if this guy is open an email client, it's the application layer. And once he clicks send it, it will go to that particular, suppose he's using Out of Works email server, it will go to and stay there. And from there, it pushes to that where you are planning to send other side. So the other side means what is exactly other. Suppose let's say you are sending this email to cdac.in, mail chsmurthy@cdac.in, then it will go to the other mail server. So that is what one mail client to server is a session is established. Then from there, that server to the destination email server is also session would be happened. So this will taken care by session layer. However, there could be end-to-end connectivity as we discussed here. There will be end-to-end connectivity up to this client. So this connectivity may be different. The green line up to here is one, and accessing this is one is the different. So sometimes what is called, this is the end. This email server is a one end system. This email server is another end system. This is also called one end system. And sometimes we can say this email client, like which is your computer, and Gmail server, which you are part of Gmail. So that could be also end to end. And that email server, Gmail and Yahoo Mail server is also another end to end. And this Mindspring email server and Mindspring ME client is another end-to-end. So, but however, we are talking about this end-to-end connectivity, which would be taken care by transport layer. This transport layer would be, it is responsible for end-to-end connectivity, multiplexing, demultiplication, segmentation, sequencing. These are the things they will do as part of end-to-end communication and reliability. The next layer is network. Network is best path. Suppose if I wanted to reach Bangalore from Hyderabad, I can reach so many ways. There are so many ways we can reach. I can go to Mumbai and reach Bangalore. I can go to the Dharwad and Dharwad to Bangalore. I can go to the Goa to Bangalore. I can go to the Chennai to Bangalore. There are so many ways are there. So, but best path is there directly going to via Anantapur, Guti, and like that, Chikballapur, and like that, it is the best path and shortest path. But in that shortest path, best path on the particular day, there is a big accident happened and the road is closed for 3 days. Then it never become as a best path. So either next best path is what? It may be a Chennai and Chennai to this, or it may be a Chittur to Bangalore. So it's the best path for me rather than going to Mumbai and coming back to the Bangalore. So that way the network layer supports and best path in the delivering from your email to other side. And data link layer is basically responsible for media access control, logical link control with error detection. Whether it's the possible media, so maybe you are using different media, you may be using Wi-Fi, others maybe wherever you are sending, they may be using different technology, different media. So somebody should be understood these two different medias and logically deliver the email from one part to another part is important to in a data link layer. When physical link is basically is the actual wires where you have seen submarine, the data is flowing into the wires, and in this the wires the maximum data is going ones zeros. So that is the physical layer, physical data transfer. So this is where each layer is deployed. These are 7 layers are required to communication forwarding from one computer to another computer. So these 7 layers are, each layer is depending on the above layer and this below layer. But however, application layer is only depending on presentation. Physical layer is only depending the above data link layer, but the middle layers are depending on above and other below layers. So that is where they communicate each other and trying to forward the data from one computer to another computer. So these are the layers who are designed by OSI, Open Standard Interface. However, Internet using by TCP/IP, it's like there is a created a standard, and companies can take this standard and implement their own part. The Unix network, which is followed TCP/IP, and after that, the TCP/IP protocol as a de facto protocol for internet communication. In TCP/IP, application and presentation session layers are together becoming as a one application, one layer as application layer, because most of the things what you have done, opening email, client or browser, and writing an email in text format or encoding, encrypting, and when up to click send session establishment, you are only using. So that is entire thing will come to the application. This is what the thought process of TCP/IP, and they made it as a one layer by making all these 3 together of standards into one layer. So transport layer is the same, that responsibilities of transport layer is adapted in the TCP/IP as in a separate layer. Similarly, network layer also is the same. And the data link layer and physical layer link, both are mostly working with respect to the wires and understanding media hardware, so that they made it as in a this one layer. Sometimes this TCP/IP layers are 5. There, some people may say that by dividing this layer is as the 2 different layers. Otherwise, this is what the difference between, these are the standards defined by RFC document, defined by IEEE and all whoever designed this network, and TCP/IP network is following that standards and implemented internet. So this way the people will say layer 1 devices, layer 2 devices, layer 3 devices, layer 4 devices. Layer 1 devices is basically repeater and ops. So only the data is transferred in the format of on zeros. There is no understanding what is the data. So that way it cannot understand, it pushes. However, when it is coming to the network layer, the bridges switches are came where MAC address is implemented, where they can understand MAC address and filtering the data based on the MAC addresses. Layer 3 routers are between network and transport layer, where the routers are used for two different networks. The proxies are gateways going from private network, your private network, to the internet. The controlling and everything could be done layer 4 devices, proxies and gateways. So application layer, HTTP, your websites, you are looking on the application layer, your data transfer, and we also discussed about DNS, domain name system, is also application layer. TFTP is the trivial FTP. FTP is the data transfer, in reverse transfer of the data from your client to uploading to the your router and all is called SMTP, is email server. Such like all applications will come into this one. When it is coming to the TCP layer and TCP, UDP are very two important protocols. Any application, either it would be using TCP or UDP, but however, the most reliable applications like HTTP, FTP are required TCP because the conformity of the data whether you received or not. But like YouTube videos, it's not TCP, it's the UDP. They deliver it whether you see it or not see it because there is no intervention of viewers. But the YouTube chat is again TCP, but video is only TCP. Your chat, video only UDP, and chat is again TCP. Like depend on application whether it should be using, whether it should be part of TCP or part of UDP. It takes the decision, and whoever designers that would be adopted. So the communication when you are sending from one system is always goes from the upper layer to lower layer, and lower layer to when you are receiving lower layer to upper layer. That is what basically the network communication. So once again I am showing these things. The data when transferring from computer to other side, let's go to the data. The data which you are sending, and it may be adding to the TCP layer, transport layer and IP layer headers and push it to the Ethernet header. Then it this entire packet in the form of ones and zeros will go to the other side through network, through this one. Then when it is receiving side, the Ethernet header removed and push it to the above layers, and IP header will be removed, push it to the TCP layer, transport layer. Transport header will be removed at transport layer and pushing to the application layer where data can be seen by the end user. So as we discussed, the respective protocols would be taking care of this one. Here, this is another important point. So we said in the previous slide, authentication header, transport header added. When you are sending the data, actual data message is this one. When authentication header is added to the data, that is called data and message. But when it is pushing to the transport layer, this is called segment. That means transport header and the data is called segment. And internet header, that entire transport header data is called as a packet. And when it is coming to the lower layer, layer 1 is the frame. So data can be told so many ways. The people will use sometimes data, sometimes message. That is where the application layer only. But when it is that same data is going towards, when you are sending, it is going downwards, it is going to the transport layer where it is called as a segment. The same data, entire data, after adding the transport header, if it is going to the internet layer or network layer, that is called packet. And that same layer will go to the first layer is called frame. So same data, while you are adding headers, the data name is changing in the form of message, segment, packet, frame. So this is where generally some people don't confuse with the, if somebody says segment, somebody says packet, somebody says message, they're all same. while going into the layer system, based on the layer where it is the data is exist, that is called with that particular name. When it is a transport layer, segment. When it is IP layer, is packet. When it is a first layer, physical layer, is called frame. So when data is received, it would be received always as a frame, and in a Ethernet network card. And by seeing the header, whether it should to send it to ARP, whether it should send it to IP or RLP. So if it is IP, it will push to the IP, and if it is the router communication, it is like if you are ping IP address of any other system, what happens? It checks the IP address of the whether system is available or not of the system IP address. So such things will be there, terminate here itself. But if it is the application, it should, as I discussed before, it could be as a TCP or UDP of any one of the application. So finally, how client is communicates? Client always communicates when you open a particular web browser, it wanted to access a web server like a www.google.com, but computer doesn't understand about google.com. It has to go to the DNS server. DNS server is nothing but domain naming system where it traverses of the name to the resolves the name to the whatever the name you have given www.google.com name to the IP address. So it shares the IP address, some IP address, and by taking this IP address again, it contacts the web server. So it sends first ARP request. So what is the ARP? ARP is also like a DNS server which resolves the IP address to physical address where we land physical address now. So every system is having physical address. Why ARP request it will send it? Whether possible this web server is belongs to my network only. So why should it go to the internet? So it will send the ARP request. Then it also get the ARP reply, because we also land this MAC address is works at a second layer, that is the data link layer. If it is the same system is available in my network, there is no need to connect transport layer network layers. So header value will be reduced. That's what it always takes the IP address. See, once again, you may be remembering IP address are the 4 octets 192.168.91.1, where MAC address is again 6 octets, where it is in the representing in the hexadecimal format and 48 bits. So, however, if it is the thing is that then TCP three-way handshake happen. What is the TCP three-way handshake? Whether you use web browser to access internet, either you wanted to send an email or message through WhatsApp, Telegram, or whether you wanted to anything, any communication you want to do in the cyber world, this is basically it should do three-way handshake. Three-way handshake is nothing but I'll send a request synchronization packet to the server. I wanted to access your www.google.com message. But if that says that server is response, yes, I am hosting my page. If you want, you can access. That confirmation message will send as an acknowledgement to the client. Then, as a client, yeah, thank you. I am sending my page request www.google.com. So these three handshakes must happen to access google.com page. But as an individual user, what do you do? We will only simply copy, write www.google.com in the URL box and page will come. But before the page comes, this entire process happens. If any new website URL, if you are typing, that will go to DNS server, gets an IP address. It also requests for the ARP address and also takes. And then three-way handshake synchronization packet I wanted to access, acknowledgement to that synchronization. Yes, okay, you can access. So then thank you, I'm accessing, I'm sending now my request. Then only www.google.com page request will go to the Google server. So before that, there is a communication establishment. And this is where three-way handshakes, and this is where that investigators and will understand the communication is a legitimate communication or attack. Because of this three-way handshake itself also they can understand, and forensically they will find out so who are accessing your web server, how they are accessing the web server. Everything can be tracked through this communication by using firewalls, intrusion detection systems, such where that. So understanding three-way handshake is very important. So it's not like that, and even it takes the a smaller part of the second to access the page. But for this three-way handshake is also lesser than that smaller part takes as part of the accessing in a particular web page. I hope you understood how important is this three-way handshake communication. So finally, once three-way handshake communication happens, HTTP request, then page will be coming to that. So all these processes would be done before accessing anything, even including sending a message also. When you wanted to sending a message in WhatsApp, so there could be establishment of connection between you and your friend. Then once you access the page, you can close the TCP connectivity. So this way, repeaters, the first layer devices. Let's say take example first layer devices. Repeaters is how they don't understand. They are part of basically is the layer one, and here you know very well that ones zeros only traveling. They don't know addressing system. This particular A system is planning to send to B a communication, but there is no addressing system and they cannot understand the address because entire data in ones and zeros. So what is that? This when I am sending to this, it goes to each and every computer of the part. So this was land. So this is what the repeaters, and anything you wanted to send a secret message in the hub environment. So everybody part of that hub network, they can see messages. So there is no security over on repeaters. But when it is the switches, second layer is the data link layer as we understood in the previous slides. So data link layer is having the MAC address. When this switch starting, the start lands from these computers, what are they? What are they basically? Their particular MAC address it understands. So that means which we land whenever we accessing web page, it tries to find the what is the MAC address. Similarly, when switch starts, switch understands the MAC address of each and every computer. So if A is trying to send the message, by the time switch understands whom you are sending with the by seeing the destination address, and it delivers directly this port. So that the other machines who are part of this switch cannot receive any kind of such messages. So switch is giving a kind of a security over the communication. So both are LAN only, local area network only. But when it is coming the routers, if the such networks are there 3 or 4 and having different same IP addressing, but same IP addressing you cannot connect. You cannot keep 192.168.1.1 and 192.168.1.1 here also, because both are in same network address. So abusing of address is happening. And this also 192.168.1 and this also 192.168.1. And when you planning to connect these two different network, home networks or office networks, you require router. As we have seen that the router, how it will allocate the public IP this side and that side and transfer the files from here to there. Gateways are basically, let's say take example, gateways, this is your intranet like these computers, and the router is their gateway for internet. Of course, we are also hosting web servers. You are making separately, you are keeping in DMG. DMG nothing but demilitarized zone where they host separate services for public purposes. If anybody is coming to the public, wanted to access your website, they can go from to gateway, they can come from their internet gateway to our gateway, and access gateway understand that you are wanted to access our website, so that it will access and it sends back to this. It won't allow our internal network. Even the internal network member also wanted to access the number, they have to come to the gateway to the website and go back. So that there is a control mechanism it can be established in gateways. So the more up to from third layer onwards, because router is itself is by default a gateway to go access an internet. From third layer onwards, all devices can be called as a gateway devices. I hope you understood what is the major difference between routers, switches, repeaters, and the gateways. So this is what typical network architecture for anywhere in the world you go, any office you go, any network you go, either it could be a defense, either it could be a government office, either it could be a private organization or IT company. This is the network architecture. See, basically, you are part of a school network. Let's say we will convert this network as a part of school network. You have a LAN. So this LAN you are established. And you also have some student lab where the students cannot access your actual LAN where your finance and server also available. Your administrative papers, preparation, computer, everything is there. So students cannot access this lab. So that's what you are keeping in a switch internal firewall, one internal firewall controlling the communication between these two. Otherwise, whomever connected this switch, they can access the files, and whomever connected this network and this switch, they can access each other. But if any member of this particular network wanted to access this particular thing or this particular thing, this should be enabled. Then only they can communicate it. So this is the internal network. You are also hosting a kind of a web server, email server, DNS server in demilitarized zone as discussed in the previous slide. For this access, any public can access and go back, but they should not come here. That's what this firewall is there. Anybody wanted to access, this guy wanted to access this web server, so he can come through these routers and reach our gateway, and gateway will understand that you wanted to access web server, so it forward that. Similarly, this guy wanted to access Google server, he should also allowed here, and when it is understand, it reaches our gateway boundary router, where it transfers, where we discussed a best path. So it can go here, or like it may travel from this router to this router, this router to this router. At that time, whatever the best path is available there, that best path it will take the particular route to access the root server. So as we discussed, as per review, we required MAC address. MAC address is mainly the talk to between these two local area network only, these two members only, and these two members only, and these two members only. That means peer to peer. This router, they can talk to on direct connectivity is there between these two routers, so that they will share MAC address each other to make the data transfer as much as faster than IP address. The IP address, you wanted to access anything other than your network, you should require itinerary. If you want to connect, if you are using router, a different IP address is required. And if you wanted to access applications, IP address is required, because application is the topmost layer. And if you wanted to send to up to there, you have to go to cross the transport layer, network layer. That is where you required. Somebody may ask me, when in LAN, when we can use it, local address, MAC address, why we are adopting like in a local IP addresses like 192.168.1.1. See, LAN, if there are two computers, you are just connect it and make it on, they always talk to each other. There is no requirement of human interface. They always talk to that. Any system you are simply start, they talk to their network card. And if the network card is connected to another system, it will ask that MAC, what is your MAC address? They exchange automatically. There is no requirement of any human being. Okay. But when a human being wanted to access application is on the top layer. So when top layer access, you need to access that all the protocols, all layers. So that's what it is required IP addressing. So with this the internet fundamentals, I'm stopping here and I'll take up the questions if any are there. Then again, I'll come back to the information security fundamentals. So do you have any questions? Hello? Is Jagdish Babu or Nirmala? Are you there?
Sir, actually, there are no questions, sir. Maybe just halt for 20 minutes. Maybe Nirmala can start the e-learning session, sir.
Yes, sir.
If somebody is having YouTube channel and if there are questions are there, I can take up the questions after this session.
No, I was just checking YouTube channel, sir. But as such, there are
Yeah, so
not.
Nirmala can take up the next session, 10-minute session.
Yeah, please, sir.
By the time, if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Okay, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕಿಯರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ಡ್, ಸರ್ನು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬ ಒಳಿತಾ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಳೆ ನಾಡಿದ್ದು ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳೋದಂದರೆ, ಈ ಸೆಷನ್ 4 ದಿನ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೆಕ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ನಾಲೆಜ್ ಆನ್ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ನ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ನೀವು ಸ್ವಂತವಾಗಿ ಕಲಿಬೋದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ PDF ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ವೆಬ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು 5-6 ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ವಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕ್ವಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ
Small advice.
ಎಸ್ ಸರ್.
You please ask all the participants, all the teachers to note down only the questions. I just keep on sending the message in the YouTube live.
Yes, sir.
But it is not happening. So please tell all the request all the teachers pose only questions rather than good morning, good afternoon, and another introduction.
Yes, sir.
And some of the teachers are also sharing their mobile number, email ID, which is not suggestible at all.
Okay.
So you please tell them, ask them to take only the questions. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sir, can you give me the share? Sir, please give me the sharing option also, sir. I'm sharing my desktop. ಹಾಗೆ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಚಾಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನೀವು ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹಾಯ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಏನೇನು ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಚಾಟಲ್ಲಿ, ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾಟಲ್ಲಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಯು. ಸೊ ತದಾದ ನಂತರ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ ಮೆಕ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್ ಪೋರ್ಟಲಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 13 ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. 13 ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ 13 ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಓದಿದ ನಂತರ ಫೈನಲ್ ಕ್ವಿಝ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫೈನಲ್ ಕ್ವಿಝಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ 1 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಡೌಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಡೌಟ್ನ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ 1 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ISEA MeitYಯಿಂದ, ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಈ ಥರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ 4 ದಿನ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. ಇನ್ನು ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಎನೇಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಮೀನ್ ವೆಲ್ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಹೀಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು www.meitY.in ಇದನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರದ್ದು ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ PDF-ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಬೈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆ PDF-ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ PDF ಎರಡೂ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಮೂಲಕ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೂಲಕ. ಸೊ ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ www.meitY.in ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಹೋಗಿದ ನಂತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಐಕಾನ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣವೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೊಸ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಇದಾದ ನಂತರ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ CDAC ಸುಮಾರು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಸುಮಾರು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ISEA Phase 2 ಅನ್ನೋದೊಂದು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇದು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್. ನೀವು ಎದಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಹೊರಟೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕೋರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಹತ್ರ ISEA Phase 2 ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ, ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಸೊ ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆದಿಂದ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ನೀವು ಈ ಸಬ್ಮಿಷನ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ತದಾದ ನಂತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಇಮೇಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ ನೀವು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. ಆ ಇಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ MeitY ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಮೇಲಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸಿದ ನಂತರ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಮ್ ಪೇಜ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಹೋಮ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಫಾರ್ MeitY. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ MeitY.in. ಸೊ ಈ ಹೋಮ್ ಪೇಜ್ಗೆ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ, ಲ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಪೇಜ್ಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ವೆಬ್ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದಂಗೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಈ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ನ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಆ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂತ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಅಂದಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣವೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಇವೆರಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ ಯು ಸಿ SZMO ಇದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ. ಸೊ ಇದೆರಡು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಆ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀವು ಬರಬೇಕಂತ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ನಿರ್ಮಲಾ, ನಾನು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ. ಸೊ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನಾನು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡಿಂದ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ಡ್ ಟು ಎನಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮಾರು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಯಾವ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎನ್ರೋಲ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಗೋ ಟು ಮೆನ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ನ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಸುಮಾರು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ CDAC ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್. ಈ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಸರ್ಟಿಫೈಡ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಫಾರ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ನೂ ನಾವು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸು, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೀಚರ್ಸು ಅಂದರೆ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ನೀವು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಟು ದ ಪೀಪಲ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅದು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ. ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವ್ಯೂ ದಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣನೇ ನಿಮಗೆ ವ್ಯೂ ಅಂತ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್. ಹಲೋ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಷಕ್ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, MeitY.in ಅಂತ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಟೀಚರ್ 1. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಸೊ ಇದು ನಾನು ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ 6 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸು, 1 ನಂಬರ್, 1 ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Pause, stop sharing. Yeah. Yes, sir. I
Every
will
time
share.
you have to stop and share, madam.
Stop. Yes, sir.
Now you share.
Share.
Now you go to the website.
Yes, sir.
Go. Now share. Click on share.
Yes, sir. I have shared that only. Sorry, sir. Okay. So ನಾನು ಮೆಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಷಕ್, ಸಾರಿ, ದೇರ್ ವಾಸ್ ಸಮ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಶೇರ್, ಬೇರೆ ಇದು ವಿಂಡೋ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ MeitY.in ಹೋಗಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು, ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ನಿಮಗೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೊಂದು ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ನೀವು ISEA phase 2 ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ MeitY, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಯೋರ್ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಇನ್ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಇನ್ನು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ನಂದು ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಟೇಕ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ನನಗೀಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಇದೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಾನು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನು ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಯಿಂದ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೋಡೋಣ. ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್, ನಾನು ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಕಾಣಿಸೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದನ್ನ ವ್ಯೂ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಫುಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ನ ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು ನೋಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್. ಇದಾದ ನಂತರ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ಸ್ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ಇದೆ. ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಕ್ವಿಜ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, PPTs ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ನ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟವಾದ್ದೇನಿಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಹಾಗೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವುದೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಸಮ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸರ್ಟಿಫಿಕೇಟ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದ್ರದ್ದು. ನೀವು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗೋ ಅಹೆಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೇಫ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸರ್ ಎನಿ ಒನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಇದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಹೇಗೆ ನೀವು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ನ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂಥೇಳಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೂಡ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಪ್ಲಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ PDF ಕೂಡ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Madam, people are asking, teachers are asking one more time. I think we have to go a bit slow. As well as many of them are asking, what is the cost of this course? No course.
Okay.
They are telling clarity, madam. Clarity, madam. Okay. So please demonstrate them once again from step 1 onwards. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. You tell them like we are repeating once again, madam.
Yes,
You please tell them that we are repeating once again. If possible, ask these people to try to do it along with you.
Yeah. Okay. ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ನ, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲಾಗೌಟ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಐಕಾನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಮ ನೇಮ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್, ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು, ನೀವು ಜಿಮೇಲು, ಯಾಹೂ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಕೊಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಸ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಇದಿಷ್ಟು ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಏನು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದಿದೆ, ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನ್ ಬಟನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಡ್ರಾಪ್ ಡೌನ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ನ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನೀವು ISEA ಫೇಸ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರನೇ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಬೇರೆದು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ISEA ಫೇಸ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಿ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಡಮ್ಮಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಯು. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನಾನು ಈ ನಂಬರಿಂದ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಫೇಸ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು TPU6N ಇದು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ 6 to 10 ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಓಕೆ, ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೋ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ISEA ಫೇಸ್ 2 ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚೆ ಎಂಟ್ರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮಗೊಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೋತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ PDF ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೇನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಫಾಲೋ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಇನ್ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಇಮೇಲ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಲಿಂಕನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೊಂದು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಶನ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ನ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನಾನು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾಯಿತು. ನಾನು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹಲೋ, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಸರ್.
Somehow, I think it is taking time, but it is opening. But the participants are telling like it's not getting open. The site is not visible. But
Yes sir, I'll just take it.
you please tell them, madam. You please tell them.
Yes sir. Shall I take after sir session?
No, complete this, madam, first.
Okay sir.
Can I start?
Sir, 5 minutes, sir. 5 minutes, sir. I think let me finish.
Sir,
Dear teachers, as you are requesting, we will share the we will share the PDF document on how to register MeitY in our Telegram group. Okay. Right now itself, I am sharing that PDF in our Telegram group. You can make use of that PDF also.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ ನಂತರ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಒಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ, MeitY ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದು ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರಿಂಗ್ MeitY. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲಿ ಯುವರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ MeitY. ಸೊ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರು ನಿಮಗೆ PDF ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಸರ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಟು ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ಗೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದು MeitY. ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಾವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಮೇಲ್ ಬಂತು ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಂತ. ಅದನ್ನ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಇದು ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ MeitY ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್, ಮೈ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೈನ್ ಇನ್ ಎಸ್ ನಿಮ್ದು ಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ಟೀಚರ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು @gmail.com. ಸೊ ಪಾಸ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇನ್ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಅಂತ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಇಮೇಲ್ ಐ ಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚಾ ಎಂಟರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಇವಾಗ. ಯಾಕೋ ಯಾಕೋ ಆಕ್ಟಿವೇಟ್ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಿಲ್ವೇನೋ. Sir, let sir take the session. I will just look into what is the problem, sir. I am have registered and activated.
Okay, ma'am. Sir, MeitY sir, can you please start the session, sir?
ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸೆಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಇದು ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ.
So coming to information security fundamentals. So let's communication from one system to another system. We generally do. Whether it could be a WhatsApp, whether it could be a Telegraph. So one mobile to another mobile. Suppose if you have sent a message through WhatsApp, it would be delivered to the other person and maybe receive it. We generally call as a normal flow. Otherwise, if somebody is stopping your communication not to deliver other side, sometimes when you are accessing internet, what exactly happens? You may get like in a page not found, something will come. Am I right? So page not found, that means that either that website destination server is not there or it is not delivered. Or otherwise, sometimes you are part of an organization where you are accessing a web page, but instead of that web page, you may be getting another page. Or this page cannot be forwarded further. Such kind of messages will come. So they were interrupting. So that means that message is not delivering to the end user whom you are intended to send the same. Second point, when it is coming to the modification in the sense, when you are sending the message to your friend like hello, but somebody is modifying in between and delivering as a hi. Actually, you have sent message as hello, but your friend is received as like hi. So in between somebody is modified the data. This is also possible in information forwarding. Or the next one is like telephone tapping. As you may know that so many cases are happening when two people are talking each other and the third person may be listening, like that in old movies which we have seen, that hero heroine is talking on telephone, hero and father is listening the same from his room. Like such movies, so many movies which we have seen, the telephone tapping. Here also, in this case also, when you are forwarding the information from one computer to another computer, the data could be seen by third party, where the third party member can see the entire data. Where we discussed about the previously hub environment. If machine A is forwarding the message to machine B, even the C and D also receiving the same way. When they're receiving, they can see the data. No, similarly, interception can be happen the same way. So now coming to the fabrication, see, your friend didn't send, your bank didn't send any message to you, any mail to you, but you will receive such kind of messages. You will maybe receiving the bank is like in a legitimate email, you may get it to update your details. Remember, any bank, anybody won't send you asking about your personal details. If they are sending means, instead of that, the actual bank, somebody is modified or fabricated the message and forwarded. So that can happen in this also. So basically, you need to understand, actually the intender never sends such message, but you receive it. Sometimes a greeting card comes that from your friend in the name of your friend name itself, your friend email address. But if you clearly observe that email, actually it is not your friend's email. Somebody is fabricated on behalf of your friend's email by understanding that he is the friend of you. So that is where we need to understand. So how the people will send like a spoofed email messages to you. The maybe next classes they may be explaining about that how they do spoofing and how to identify such kind of messages. So, but when it is coming to the security, fabrication could be the one of the problem. So reputation. Reputation is that, say, as we discussed it before, TCP communication and UDP communication. TCP communication is basically is the reliable communication. UDP communication is non-reliable. TCP communication always confirms that whether message is delivered or not. If message is not delivered, it again tries to resend the message based on the technology that what they exactly they are using. So here also, in this case, how attackers, how fraudsters do this thing is that, so when somebody is forwarded, if that as an individual and in middle, and a hacker is collecting the data and trying to see the data is encrypted, then even after collecting the data, if that is not usable because that is encrypted, so what I do that, but that information is very important for me as an hacker. You are communicating a secret message where I wanted to know that, but it is encrypted. Then what is that, as in the previous step, as a man in the middle, I'll try to ask the sender, I'm not received your message, you please repeat again. So he will send a repeater. Let's say in the same example, he is sending in hello. Hello is encrypted and forwarding to the third party. I am receiving first time. Second time, same, I am asking that same thing to do forward. The same message, same mechanism, same algorithm is encrypted and forwarded. Third time, fourth time, fifth time, and so number of times he forwarded. Then I'll put all these things, how hello is changing into the other word. There is any pattern, that pattern, to understand that pattern, these reputation attacks would be done. So that is where so reputation attacks will come. But here in the all these things, what you understood is that a normal flow, the packet is delivered, so okay, that's a normal flow. But packet is dropped by somebody in the man in the middle, so that is called interruption. What does that mean? That packet is never delivered to the end user. So that means somebody is interrupted. Interruption is what kind of problem? It's a availability problem. When you wanted to access your page and that page is not available, so what does mean? The page is never available. So that does mean that you can't access that. So it is an availability problem. So availability is that when nothing is available, why should we talk about the security? So security, when you are talking about security, availability is the first step. Information availability is the first step. Then only security over information is the second step. If somebody is able to modify the data from hello to hi, what happens? Hello to hi. That means how do you trust that message is right message? You can't trust it. That means what? Again, as trust is nothing but an integrity, no integrity. You can't trust him because of the no integrity. So it's an integrity problem. So when it is somebody is able to see my data, understand my secrets, that means what? It is against on confidentiality. So that confidentiality is not there, integrity is not there, availability is not there, means we can say simply that there is no security at all. For anything implementing for security, confidentiality, integrity, and availability are much important. These three are very much important for the cyber security or any kind of security. Is not only cyber security, even though a secret between you two people without using cyber also, the confidentiality is required, integrity is required, that information among you both is required, availability also. So that's what CIA tried, generally we called. These three are very much good principles, the cyber security principles for that. So we called it that major principles of cybersecurity are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. To support these things, we need authentication is the important. Authenticity is a kind of thing that who can access, who can authorize it to access, and how do you authorize and what basis, what time. So authentication, authorization, and accountancy. Accountancy is nothing but how much time you have to access, who access it, somebody should note it down. So that sub principles are very much supportive to these three principles: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. For reputation attacks, so non-reputation methods will be used to secure the application. But overall, CIA or CIA tried is very much important for implementing cybersecurity, for assuring information is the right information. This 3A available, and all now you can implement authenticity, authentication. We generally call it as a AAA: authentication, authorization, and accountancy. So this you have a number of doors are there, wireless. So when you are part of network, you may be connecting with wireless, you may be connecting the internet directly from home with broadband and also mobile. So there are so many ways you are connecting. And that means you are connecting means you are opening the doors. You are opening the doors. How you are opening is one door, a number of doors. Based on that, your security is depending. So now maybe you understood what are the principles of cybersecurity. Now coming to the cyber safety, cyber security, and threat and breach, and what are the differences between them, we will look into that. What is exactly cyber safety? Cyber safety is the safe and responsible use of information and communication technology, keeping information safe and secure. See, basically, always we say that safety rules. While we are traveling on road, there are safety rules. So not to be part of in the accidents and all. We have a set of rules by individually, by people to follow that rules to avoid the accidents. And similarly, cyber safety is the safe and responsible use of information and communication technology. See, the information is very much important here. Information is about a particular thing, is gives the leakage of data. Like example, we discussed it in Truecaller app. So because you installed the Truecaller app and you accepted Truecaller to consider each and every contact details can be used by the particular Truecaller app. But whose data? You are thinking that this data is belongs to you because of you are part of mobile. But actually, in contact list, my mobile number is there. So, but how do you share this mobile with them, a Truecaller, without taking my permission? In similar, without taking your permission, if I am sharing your mobile number to some marketing agency, do you agree that? So this is what that safety which we have to take while we are installing the Truecaller app. What exactly Truecaller app does? What are the safety implications are there? Whether it is right, ethically, or cyber security wise, right or not, we need to think of. So the keeping information safe and secure by ourselves is considered as a cyber security of money. So majorly what is that? Being responsible with that information, being respectful of other people online and is the first one. So does mean that is simply following the ethics. Ethics, using good ethics, internet ethic and an etiquette, we may say it, that following the ethics is very much important. So that following that ethics is nothing but called taking the respective cyber security. Now, how it is differentiated with internet or online safety? See, when it is the term cyber, cyber is relating to a characteristics of the culture of the computers, information technology, communications, virtual reality. That means wherever, whatever the device you are using to access internet, or using for the communication, or using for your making a documents. So whatever you are using, computer, mobile, or etc., all will come as part of cyber. But internet is a global computer network providing variety of communication facilities and interconnected networks, protocols, as we discussed previous session. So people are hosting website, people are hosting videos, people are hosting some kind of papers, videos, even the material, news. There are a lot of variety of information is there. For all information, they are using some technology, using communication, using computers, and virtually we are available, virtually we are connected. So all this facilitator is nothing but your internet. So following the safety, by being yourself to protecting your information and be part of internet is internet safety. So online would be controlled by or connected to a computer. So the online is basically that you require a device to connect to this internet and access that. So accessing a page already is available in the website is maybe a kind of a server client communication, and you are downloading that is that happening online, or you are talking to like how we are talking each other, how you are explaining is that this is online. Internet is a connecting of the number of resources. The people may not be online, but devices are online. So resources are online. So you can access anytime 24/7. If suppose your system is not connected to internet, that system is having the information, but it's because of not connected to internet, we can say that offline. So the safety measures which we are taking for the internet connectivity, online connectivity, and it is called as an internet or online safety, where cyber safety, while you are using the devices and what are the information of the devices which we are controlling, is called as an cyber safety. So what is the difference between cyber security? The cyber security means protecting the data and information networks. So where cyber safety is that protecting the yourself, following the safety rules for implementing the cyber security. But cyber security is the technology using for the securing the your IT ICT products. That means what? The people to protecting the information, people to protecting about their personal details is called cyber security. Cyber safety, where cyber security is the using technology for securing whatever the devices, like using antivirus to protect against your malware is cyber security, because you are installing a technology like an antivirus technology to stop the viruses in your computer is the cyber security. The cyber safety, the information you wanted to use a particular antivirus is the that policy which you are taking, that rule you are taking is called as a cyber safety. So cyber safety means protecting the users from harmful online content, like example that madam told. So 7th class student, so accessing the pornography is against the cyber safety. Using that computers, accessing the pornography will come under cyber security. Where in this case, there is a kind of a protection mechanism should be used by that internet center guy to such kind of pornography sites are should not be accessible by these computers. This comes under cyber security, and even it comes, but the particular age people to control, like using the child control, parent controls for the child to access internet will come as under cyber safety. So it's a majorly people versus technology. Securing by themselves, people is the cyber safety, and technology using by securing the products, what people use is comes under cyber security. So now coming to the information security is a superset of all including cyber security and cyber safety. Information is everywhere. If you control information, that itself is that you can secure your things, your devices 50 to 60%. Because until I know that you are having 6 lakhs money in your account, and your whatever the Paytm, and your Paytm is attached to your bank account. See, the Paytm is two types. One Paytm is basically only you can transfer the money from your bank account to the Paytm is for only for the a little mini money 20,000 rupees, and attaching UPI account of your actual account, which is having money of 6 lakhs, is the very much different. See, if I know that you attached a bank account to your Paytm, and I will use fraud in such a way that I'll get your OTP so that I can steal entire 6 lakhs. However, we only transfer the smaller money to buy smaller things of 20,000 rupees or like 5,000 rupees, even the 20,000 rupees. So even though a fraudster steals this 20,000, your risk is only to 20,000. But if you are attached UPI bank account, where it could be, the risk is higher because entire money of your account can be, the possibility of stealing can happen. So that is where the information is, you need to very much important. As if I search your Paytm and if you are able to understand, if I am able to understand you that you are attached to the UPI account rather than normal transfer of money, this information gives me possible. Of course, these fraudsters do randomly, and similarly, the information passing through others' mobile numbers, through caller, is the maybe one of the reason to understand the call respective people. Like when call is coming, the same true caller, the call is coming from your number, I guess your name, then I can call you, even I don't know. Hello, mister, how are you? I got this number. Your friend was given this number. It is very nicely meet you. We are planning to have some meeting. Initial per meeting, which we are collecting. I am the so and so old friend of you. We are all planning together. It starts from there. So then they collect a small amount of money. So small amount of money is a small thing that you transfer 100 rupees only. And they may transfer it. And whether you received or not. So that 100 rupees. Okay, along with that, there is a OTP is there that you please share that OTP in such a way that we'll confirm the registration. So OTP, when you share, the money will go out from entirely. So sharing OTP, such kind of personal information to somebody is very much risky thing, and that's what you required. Like sharing a personal OTP to others is under comes cyber safety, and using transfer the things from your mobile and is comes under cyber security. So that is where information security is always superset of cyber security and cyber safety, as we shown here. Coming to the cyber attacks and data breaches, a cyber attack occurs when cyber criminals try to gain illegal access to electronic data stored on your computer network. Attack is always happens the try to gain illegal access of your computer, of your mobile. A data breach is a type of security incident. It occurs when information is accessed without authorization. See, you open your computer, but you are not, without logging out, you went outside. Your colleague comes and access, this comes as a data breach. And if somebody is connecting the remotely and accessing your computer, come as an attack. Because you know that your colleague is with you and he can access the data, but without your permission, he is taking that data, is called as a data breach. And when somebody is stealing the information remotely, like you also don't know him, so that will come as an attack. The information accessed could include personal information, Aadhaar numbers, passwords, and financial accounts. Anything they can steal. A cyber attack often happens first, then only data breach. So here in this case, there is already access is there. So that's what he is able to copy the thing, knowingly or unknowingly. But without attack, nobody can take the data. Without accessing your computer, they cannot steal your data. They cannot copy your data. So that's what cyber attack happens first. Data breach might follow. Both instances can have impact on you. So we need to secure ourselves. So that is what the glossary of that various terms and the information security. However, I'll make complete this 2 or 3 sessions with as soon as possible. You may be the managing schools, you may be some people may be from private, some people might be from international school, some people may be from the government school, but each school should have some kind of infrastructure of the IT ICT infrastructure they may having. So like labs, CC network on social media. So when CC network also we say that is now connected to our network, it comes as part of IT ICT, and maybe some schools are managing the databases, school database, ERP, and schools may be having their own websites, and schools are conducting online classes. This is what majorly the school management and IT ICT infrastructure. But however, the challenges are there. So late to react to the surge of cyber threats. If any malware comes, ransomware wins. So not only schools, if during the 2017 and 18, there is a kind of a ransomware attacks are happened, like University of Hyderabad, Telangana Police Academy, such institutes itself is affected with ransomware. Or believe it or not all systems are affected. Only few systems are affected. So other systems are not affected because only they were not updated. The old systems are affected in the institute. All old systems are encrypted with different keys where they were asking a lot of ransom money to transfer to disable that keys so that you can access the data. So that is where we need to think. Patching is up to latest updates. Patching is very much important, and this is one of the biggest challenge for the schools because organizations or offices may be having the technical people, dedicated technical people, but where in this case only teachers have to do. So teachers have to understand these problems and make themselves is ready for cyber security ready. Of course, IT budget constraints, insufficient IT and information security staff, and also some people you are using some softwares, open source basis softwares in the name of free software, or free software in the name of open source softwares, where they continuously tracking your activity by installing such software. That is what we call shadow IT. So they will sell you, but they will collect all the information for their benefit. Google is giving everything free, you are accessing everything free, but they continuously collecting your personal data, your interest, your behavior, what you will buy tomorrow, they know than you. So because you are thinking of a mobile, you are searching in a mobile name, so Google records, yeah, you are searching this mobile, so you are planning to have mobile, whether it could be for you or whether it could be it's for your family or whether it could be gift to somebody. So Google algorithm understands very easily that you are planning to next few days or next month or some discounts you are looking, immediately understands. And this information will be shared to the all Google vendors so that they continuously advertise that kind of mobiles or equivalent mobiles or budget, similar budget mobiles to you. That is what happening. Otherwise, next day when you are opening, how you are getting the say advertisements what you looked in the last day or last 2 days. So that is where. So when you are thinking free, definitely the somebody is benefiting. So when you are attending a birthday party, you definitely will enjoy, but you have to take a gift to them. But after giving the gift, the children definitely expect a return gift. So I think nothing free. Calling for my birthday party is not free. I'm expecting a gift from you. I'm giving a party in return. So it's all calculation. Mathematics, as all of you teachers know very well about, there is no need to explain in detail. So that shadow IT is also similar like that. You are buying or you ask for so much discount I have given, but I'm collecting the data of yours, your students, and I am selling the products which I required. I wanted to do business. Along with that, there could be a personal information, data sharing, and of course, all these things, how it is happening, there is a lack of awareness, lack of technology awareness. So we need to have this lack of awareness, lack of training to be covered with this kind of trainings and make ourselves aware and understand these things. So that is where we need to take these challenges, and so we need to do some schools having a bigger infrastructure. We need to do audit and assessment regularly. Shortness will be removed. Website, we need to take care of the websites, safe to host with certain all systems which we loaded with we have to update with the antivirus packages where antivirus pack free antivirus also there. they are very good antivirus packages, but however, free in the sense open source softwares, but however, they should be tested and implemented. Okay. So a separate cyber policy is required for each and every school, and what student can access, what kind of systems they can access, and teachers what kind of system they can access, who are the authorized, the paper storage in one particular computer. The policies should be required, and that policy itself is the first step in the cyber safety. So coming to the teachers, so all your accepts, your students are more tech savvy than you can possibly imagine. So am I right? So even my kid is better than me to access the internet and technology. Like every kid, next generation people are always better than what we are there. Even though we may be adapting the technology with for our traditional teaching, but the next generation may be only using the technology like during the COVID-19, what they use it, they have to use it. Okay, while we are part of this technology, we have to use all updated software. We cannot use unpatched or outdated software. Vulnerabilities of a PC, laptop, mobile, all may be a biggest exposures to the hackers, and also we may be using removable media, cyber security, removable media like USBs and all. So copying the files from one system to another system without properly checking that. So because of the time being, I'm not able to continue every slide, but however, cyber security awareness is important for along with the students, with us also. So it is very difficult to manage students online than offline classes. As you know that teaching online is very difficult. We know when we are physically meet that we can see all your faces and what is that your interest, how the interest. If one student doesn't have any interest in the subject, we may concentrate on that student itself, so that in around the students all will be alert to learn the things. Such things cannot be possible on the online. So these are the challenges are happening in the staff teachers, and more than that, the security of all these devices very much important. So that is where uh, we need to continuously monitor the students, because students may be using for fun, and for cyber attackers it's not for fun. They target us, so that we need to see that we have to use separate emails for that official purpose and the personal purpose. Use your school email address for only the school purpose, and your own purpose for the you can use it. Always use complex passwords. When you are using your personal ID, don't write like an chasmurthy at cdac.in. That is official email ID. Or but if you write like that, no, anybody can recognize chasmurthy. Who is chasmurthy? There are there are number of Rahul are there. One of the Rahul you could be. So that's what you always give different ID where numbers easily can remember. From there itself, your information should be controlled. And also you might be using different passwords for different accounts. You should not keep same account, same password, because somebody hacked your account and they can hack each and every account. You have to use different passwords for different accounts, and password meter you have to check it. Manager you can use it. These are the some of the tips, and more tips we will learn in the next few classes. And of course you can send always your tips and features, where in the last day we can come and answer if I am not able to answer the questions, because I am not able to take up the questions at this moment, because the time you are waiting last 3 hours, you are very patiently you are listening my lecture. Thank you for that. So we are together form as a society and support the society by giving awareness. As I initially said, that you are the bridge between the society and security implementation. So that's what we expect a lot from you. And we are also looking at a lot of encouragement for giving in the state level and national level master trainers recognition, where we are working out, and every year we wanted to recognize, so that hope you will complete every e-learning and be part of this cyber security master trainers program through e-learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable informations. We are getting messages that very good information and teaching methodology. But they were just asking for Kannada. But from tomorrow, we are going to have blended information, that is sessions on including Kannada also. Sir, there is one question if we can answer that.
Yeah, please.
We pay electricity bill through Paytm. Is it secure? And how is it connected with the KPTCL, that is Karnataka Power Telecom?
See, the Paytm might have registered with KPTC, so that's what you are paying KPTC. Otherwise, there is another method also. KPTC is having an online acceptance mechanism. There are third-party vendors would be there. That vendor would be connected to Paytm. So payments can be paid through Paytm. But however, whether it is secure or non-secure is the when it is coming to that point, what happens is that, see, we have to look about the risk only, because this we are all part of digital. We cannot deny these apps. So, but one first tip which I am giving, that because of the discount, we cannot install as many as such kind of apps. Let's say, take example, the bank also uses one app. You suppose if you are having account, bank is also having an app to pay the same thing. And these third party Paytm all also using the same thing, and maybe other that KPTC also may be using something. So because of these, people are giving the offers. Everybody will give offer to encourage them to join them. And that is where first offer we will, like a 50 rupees discount is coming. That's what you install Paytm. PayU also is giving another 100 rupees next time. PayU. What happens? Installing as many as apps, everywhere you are sharing your information. That's what you trust only one app, whatever the app you trust it. I'm not saying that the Paytm is not right and PayU is not right. So, but trust one app. Basically, you trust your bankers only. But however, when it is coming to the Paytm, my second point is that never attach, either it could be a Paytm or PayU, or never attach your bank account. You have a facility to transfer some amount, 5,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. That 2,000 rupees is the risk. Even though somebody accidentally has taken, the maximum amount you will lose only the 2,000 rupees. But if you are attached an account and accidentally you shared your OTP, whatever the money you have in the particular account, you may lose it. That is where you use this proper using the Paytm. So cyber safety should be implemented.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಉತ್ತರ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಕುಡ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಗೆ ಸರ್ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೆ Paytm ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವ್ಯಾಲೆಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವ್ಯಾಲೆಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ವ್ಯಾಲೆಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ನ ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆದಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಗೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆಗೆ. ಸೊ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಫೀಸ್ ಯಾವುದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಇದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೂ ಸೈಬರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಅವೇರ್ನೆಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೇ ಈ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ನೀವು ಮಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಟ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮುಂದೆ ನಮಗೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಗೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅವೇರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಲೈಕ್ ಇವತ್ತೇ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ನಾವು ಇ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್ಗೆ? ಇವತ್ತೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ನೀವು ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ್ಗೆ. ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಗ್ರೂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ PDF ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಮೇಲ್ ಐಡಿಸ್ಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸಂಜೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮೇಲ್ ಐಡಿಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಹೇಗೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಹೇಗೆ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇತ್ತು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾಳೆ ಸೆಷನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ನಾಳೆ ಸೆಷನ್ ಡೆಸ್ಕ್ಟಾಪ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ, ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತು ಇಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಇಮೇಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಡೆಸ್ಕ್ಟಾಪ್ ಬ್ರೌಸರ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಗಮನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನನ್ನ ಅಭಿಪ್ರಾಯ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮನ ಇಟ್ಟು ಕೇಳಿ. ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಿಸ್ ಆದರೆ ನೀವು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಲಿಂಕಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಬೋದು ಪಾಠನ. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable information on internet fundamentals and information security fundamentals. So we are getting more positive feedback on the explanation as well.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. Yes, sir. ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕಿ ಬಳಗದವರಿಗೆ. And DSCRT Bangalore for giving us the opportunity to be part of your program by conducting these sessions. Thank you ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಲಿಸನಿಂಗ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.